Hi everyone, welcome to this new edition of my podcast, Show Me the Magic, where I invite founders or power users of products that are worth showcasing for the magic of their user experience. And today, my guest is not the founder of Odoo, he's a power user, an advocate, an evangelist, I would say, of Odoo. You see him everywhere on LinkedIn. William McMahon, the CEO of Gravitai. First, thank you for joining,
You're very
William.
welcome, and
Thank
hello,
you
everyone.
for joining me here. I would like to start, as I always do, by asking you what brought you to the product that we will be demoing today. What brought you to Odoo? What is the journey that brought you there?
Great question, and often asked as well. So my own problem basically brought me to Odoo, where effectively I've been in operation, or Gravitai has been in operation 12 years. And over those years, we were primarily implementing on Salesforce platforms. And as I architected my own problems in the beginning, I had implemented various different systems for Gravitai, for CRM, marketing automation, and just general operations. And that was sufficient for when we were a business size of 10 people. But as our business started to grow and we started to bring in new employees and expand, that myriad of different systems was becoming really inefficient to administer, maintain, integrate. I just wasn't getting the reporting, the information I need, and it was a lot of overhead. So I was frustrated one day that surely there must be one system out there that does everything. And if there wasn't, I was going to build it. And
Cool.
one day just stumbled across what I saw as Odoo version 14, I think it was.
Mhm.
Um, and just started playing around in the box and saw that it had everything I needed in one system. So I jumped straight into it. I was a customer of Odoo. I didn't have an Odoo practice back then. So self-implemented Odoo. I am a techie. I'm an architect, a developer. So wanted to learn it, did it myself. Um, and then when I started seeing all of the return of my investment, how many hours I was saving, how much real-time information I was gathering, and how easier it was for me to manage my business, manage my projects, it was a no-brainer. I knew that I had the right system. So we then decided, okay, well, if we can make it a success for ourselves as Gravitai, let's make it a success for other clients. And we built our own Odoo practice, and it has grown and grown and grown, and everything now is Odoo. Odoo is the future. I think it's a phenomenal application for what you get out of box. It's again being well adopted now in the UK. I've seen a growth in adoption and awareness of the platform here in the UK, and like that we've now expanded out to, I think we've got over 35, 40 clients, all utilizing Odoo in manufacturing to retail to services. Everybody has a different use case for it.
What was the first app that you implemented for your own practice in Odoo?
Um, so when we looked at it to implement, it was actually during lockdown, and it was the first Christmas lockdown. So we had signed up our licenses, I think, in the October, November time, and we were going to focus on trying to get it implemented over Christmas because it was going to be a bit quieter. So we started looking first at, okay, what applications were low-hanging fruit that didn't have any impact on other areas of the business, and that was website. So we
Okay.
took website first, But then as soon as we unlocked website, we kind of joined it then saying, okay, we needed CRM. So we kind of combined maybe 4 applications in our first deployment, and then it just started snowballing from there. It was an app for everything. So again, around Christmas time, we were looking again for Christmas event of registering who's going to be able to come to our Christmas dinner event. So like that, used Odoo surveys. So just started picking up application by application, finding a use case for it, using it, moving on to the next application.
How fast did you implement the accounting app, for instance, which is like the core of the ledger, the admin system?
So we originally started on version 14. We had been using Zero up until then, again dictated by our accountant, of course, that they were a Zero practice. So accounting, we put it in Odoo as a core application anyway, so that we could again build all of the kind of finance and reports. But we didn't change into using Odoo accounting. It must have been a good year and a half, 2 years after, mainly because again we had to align with our accountant, our end of year accounts, but also again we were looking at version 14, the differences in accounting from 14 to where we are now in 18 was phenomenally different and progressive. So we just mainly focused on the applications we needed to deliver our day-to-day services and work, which again were primarily on CRM, of being able to sell our work, projects, and being able to manage our work, and timesheets and the HR management.
And then if we connect it to sales, you have the quote, the sales order, the invoice, and that's connected to accounting. That you can do the whole quote to cash journey in
Exactly.
Odoo,
Exactly.
which is core to the application.
Effectively, all we were doing then was doing all of that in Odoo, but then extracting that data out to give to our accountant, who would effectively load them into Zero as well. So
Just for the compliance part.
for the compliance, exactly.
I guess. And so you are a service company. You are an Odoo implementation partner. So as you said, you implemented the modules that you needed for yourself. You're not a factory. You're not manufacturing stuff. But today we will demo the manufacturing app, which is one of the favorite apps that we see being used by the Odoo users, because it's core to what people know as an ERP. Usually you've got the financial ledger, so all the accounting, and then you've got all the heavier apps, I would say, manufacturing, inventory, everything connected to the supply chain. So that's what we want to demo today, the manufacturing app.
Accounting, I'm not an accountant. It's not my most favorite piece of my roles, but manufacturing inventory became my specialism. So we have a number of clients using on manufacturing and inventory management. It is one of the, you could say, solid rock foundations of what you can do in Odoo. A lot of clients are using it, and when you then interweave the manufacturing piece in with the accounting piece, you've got a whole solution service. So again, even the accounting piece comes into purchasing. So when we talk on inventory and manufacturing, I need to purchase my inventory before I can manufacture, and therefore all of that purchasing, invoice payments, all of that has to come into accounting as well as into inventory.
It's crucial to have your accounting right once you start using things like manufacturing and inventory. Otherwise, you can have bad surprises. So just make sure it's perfectly configured once you start using the whole suite. So let's have a look at the manufacturing app. So maybe I don't know if you've prepared straight the manufacturing app, or if we can come from the home screen to show the different apps in the collection, or maybe show the home screen in another.
Yeah, I'll show you a few different things. So let me me just bring up
So
my
that people can
presentation.
understand that it's part of a suite of more than 50 apps now. I
Yes,
think
yeah,
it's
or
huge.
80, I think. It
80
keeps
with all
expanding,
the
yeah,
with
with
all
all
the
of
vertical
the
apps, because there
verticals
are a lot
apps.
of apps for specific verticals today.
Now, again, Odoo continues to throw in more and more features and apps that it's phenomenal for for solutions, for being able to have an app for everything. So, what we'll talk through or present, so the same way as Odoo has Stealthy Wood, um, we've created the Purple Juice Co. So these are fictitious manufacturing company. If you follow me on LinkedIn, a plug for drinking the purple juice. The Purple Juice Co. is again, or the purple juice is around the passion of using Odoo. And what we show through this demonstration on the Purple Juice Co. Well, what we do is we manufacture purple juice. It gives an easy answer to it. In the Purple Juice Co., we take raw ingredients that, again, we're saving from landfill. So usually wonky fruit. We take that in and blend into a variety of different juices. Now, the juices that we manufacture, we sell to B2B and B2C clients. So again, you can walk into Waitrose and you can buy a bottle of our juice, but you can also buy it from our e-commerce store. The product that we sell, we have 12 different juice types. In Odoo, these are configured as a product inventory, so a finished good. And that product is made up of bill of materials, so a multi-level BOM. So we have a BOM for the product, which is the bottle. So it contains the cap, the bottle, the label, and effectively the juice that's within that bottle. But the juice that's within the bottle is also a bill of materials as well, and that will contain the ingredients of, how many apples, beetroot, and cherry that we use within that recipe. Again, we have different recipes, but they'll all fit into a container of a bottle. We would also white label our services as well. We can fill juices for other companies, put their label on it. But the variant sizes that which we sell in the bottles, we can sell 300 ml, 750 ml, or a litre. And again, each one of those have their own bill of material, because a 750 ml bottle of Beat the Blues will have a 750 ml bottle as opposed to a 300 ml for different bombs. Likewise, we package this. We don't necessarily just sell individual bottles. We sell them in cases or boxes. So you buy cases from us. And again, it's a breakdown of each different piece. So we probably won't get through all of this today. There's a lot in the process. And again, by anybody listening, if they want to reach out, happy to go through a more in-depth demonstration workflow on this. I'll just present maybe this on a bigger screen. Present full screen. There we go. It might be a little bit easier for people to see. So like in many manufacturing processes, you have a sales demand for your finished good, your finished product. You're selling something that you're effectively making. So that sales demand comes from your end consumer. In our case, it could be the retail stores or stockists. It could be on our online order. And they make sales demand in with our sales team. And that demand produces production planning, production demand. So if we know we're selling a certain product and we know maybe seasonal trends, we know how much product we need to plan and produce. That will drive things like replenishment requests. So when we're manufacturing our juice, we need raw ingredients, we need our apples and our bananas, etc. We need that raw material in, so we have to do purchase requests. We buy from our suppliers. And then we also have to receive that product into stock. The products are, again, expiry. They have a shelf life. So we have to be able to manage inventory receipt of those products. When we receive them from our suppliers, we need to be able to trace it back to which supplier gave it to us, where or when we receive it, how it's been stored, when does it expire, and effectively all the way down the food chain as to where it's actually being used. So we can trace back from an individual bottle back to the ingredients, back to their suppliers. So full traceability end to end of the life cycle. So when we get all of our raw materials in, we're going to have to create manufacturing orders. So we want to be able to manufacture new base liquid. It's a two-stage process, effectively. We have to manufacture base liquid first before we can fill bottles. I can't fill bottles if I don't have that base liquid. So this is, again, that kind of multi-stage process of build our base liquid, and to do the base liquid, we have to pick raw materials from the store. We have to bring them to the juicing line where we squeeze apples and oranges and we produce juice. And from that base liquid, then we go through second stage of filling. So it's another manufacturing process of filling, and again bottling, moving the product through the manufacturing process, up until we get to, you could say, a finished filled bottle, which we then pack. We shrink wrap it, we shelf ready package it, or it might be the individual shelf pack.
I wanted to ask you, or maybe to say something about this workflow, the diagram that you show here. It's a crucial moment when you want to prepare an ERP implementation to have this kind of diagram super clear on paper in your head, because one of the struggles that we see with many implementations is that this step is not clear, and that it's a sure failure further down the road if this thing is not clear.
Absolutely. It's clear in everybody's head. It's never clear on paper.
You've got to put it on paper.
When you put it on paper, then you start identifying out.
And how do you, when you map a diagram like that, I would say, do you know already a bit intuitively what will be covered standard by Odoo and where they are the most, intricate, complex parts that maybe would require some further customization, or is most of what we see here already covered standard by Odoo?
A great question. So we would start with gap analysis with the client. So a gap analysis or discovery session is to go in with the client and understand their business process end to end. Job shadow, follow the process. You need to effectively live and breathe that company. You need to be one of them, understand their product, understand every person's role in manufacturing that product. And we then basically gather that information, and there's actually a much larger architecture design that I've done for the Purple Juice Co. It's a massive Visio diagram that again paints the picture. So we have to paint that picture, we need to understand it, we need to define the requirements. And once we've defined those requirements, then we start identifying, can this be done natively? Can this be done, do we have to customize? And we basically do that kind of analysis. Primarily everything I'm going to be showing you in this process is native functionality out of box. There are some tweaks and customizations, we'll call them, specific to our operation here, but 95% of this is native functionality. If we look at the roles, so we're going to look at purchasing as a supplier, as Waitrose. we will basically use a salesperson. Here, Basil is a salesperson. So I always explain this to people when I do a demo is I'm going to be wearing multiple hats in this demonstration. So what you're going to be seeing is me going in and out of Odoo into different applications. And sometimes that can throw people thinking, oh, this is really clicky or it's very confusing. I'm all gone all over the place. That's because, again, I'm wearing multiple hats and I try to break it down into roles for people. So we play an actor, and here the actor Basil, he's the sales manager, and his role is to take sales orders. Now, those sales orders could have come through the website, they could have, however, we could have otherwise taken the sales order. But here we're just going to play it as Basil taking a sales order. So I'm going to go into Odoo. I'm logged in here as an administrator. This is a demo test environment, so do forgive any errors that pop up because we're always playing with it. And again, there's test data in here, but I'm in as an administrator. I do see everything. So I have all of the applications installed, but Odoo itself is role-based permissions. So technically, as Basil as a sales manager, I might have fewer applications, or I won't have access to certain data, etc. So, but I'm as an administrator, so I'll point that out. So I'll quickly look at CRM first, because I think we have an opportunity. And again, I just see that the loading time, this is on a test server, so again, forgive the speed. In production, Odoo speed is, again, a lot more efficient. So I have opportunities in my pipeline, in my CRM, that I can again manage through a pipeline process. I'll go into this Waitrose opportunity, and within that opportunity, I can again communicate back and forth to the customer as to what they're looking for, what are their order. It'll get to a point where the customer will say, I want to order something. So it goes from being an opportunity to maybe being a quotation first. So I'm just going to add a quotation to this opportunity. I don't need an opportunity for every quotation either, just to put that into a caveat. So in the sales quotation or order, it's the same thing. I can add products. So I'm going to put in Beat the Blues as a product. Okay. Now, what pops up here is Odoo's multivariant options of what I can sell. So I've varying case sizes of Odoo, or sorry, of Beat the Blues that I can sell, and they can have different prices against the different variants, and variants can likewise come in different sizes. So 12 cases of 12 and 60 ml versus 24 60 ml bottles. So I'm just going to add that to the order, and maybe I'll put in 680 bottles or cases. So here I can see a little graph. It's green. That means I have sufficient stock on hand. I can click on that, and I can again see that I've got forecasted stock of nearly 9,000 bottles. If I go into my view forecast, I can see when stock is coming in, when stock is being allocated out, where it's been reserved, etc.
So you have a deep link view of the inventory straight from the CRM there.
Straight from the CRM. As a salesperson, I can effectively see, do I have sufficient stock in hand to make this sale? I have the option, of course, I could still sell it even if I didn't have it in stock, and that can kick off a manufacturing order so that I manufacture to order if I wished. Here where we manufacture to stock and then we sell from stock. So it's both ways are entirely feasible. typically I can email my quotation back and forth to the customer for shortness of time. I'm just going to confirm the sales order. I can create my invoice. I can take regular payments. That's all on the accounting side. I'm going to leave all of that because, again, put it to maybe 100%. Not everything is configured in here. Okay, so I confirm that as a draft invoice and send it, print it, pay it, whatever. It will go into the accounting side. Say salespeople will continue doing their sales. They'll continue, going through their duties. But now another hat I'm going to wear is Pippa. Pippa is the production manager. Her job is basically to plan the production of the bottles of juice. And Pippa, her role again might work in both manufacturing. So if I go into the manufacturing application, she might here be looking at her master production schedule. Our master production schedule will allow her to plan replenishments or see the demand forecast of how much sales are doing. Here I might have, let's say, minimum stock retaining that I have to make sure that I'm always maintaining my stock. But she can likewise go through and plan, where she needs extra bottles. So again, she might be looking at seasonal trends that maybe in July we're going to be selling a lot of juice in July, so I'm going to manufacture ahead of the time.
And this notion of the forecast, so you said it's also based on the sales forecast, but it's partly based on the actual sales that are already taken, and also on some, I would say, forecasting magic that's in the system.
Yeah, there's some forecasting magic in there. I suppose, you've got less control over that. It's usually around the forecasting of sales, quotations that are future ordered. I'd love to be getting Odoo into production planning where it's more AI smart for like that. I see seasonal trend historically that I sold more of this product in November, so therefore I've got to seasonally predict that next November I need to manufacture.
It doesn't. So it doesn't do yet out of the box the forecast, even based on the previous year at the moment. The
I
system.
don't believe it does.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no. Again, Fabienne might be able to tell me otherwise, but
Yeah.
from the black box of what is forecasting in here, this is primarily on
On the
a
actual numbers.
replenishment actual numbers of what
On the
I'm
odd
kind of
numbers.
seeing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
like minimum stock retaining. Let's say even in purple juice, for example, if we're holding stock that is expiring, again, that'll be scrapped. And therefore, if I'm holding minimum stock quantities, I now need to replenish based on the stock that's about to be expired or scrapped. So it's not necessarily just on sales, it's got a few other logistics around it.
And we talked about the way that the products are sold. So you said by packs, let's say of 24, by packs of 6 or something like that. Is it also taken into account in the way that the stock is managed? Because we can't sell just one bottle per bottle. We sell them by 24, by 6.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can manufacture it into like the end unit, the end product is a bottle, but then you package those into packaging cases. Say again, if I manufacture 24 bottles and I package them into cases of 12, well then I can only sell 2 cases. So yeah. And like that, your compute calculations work either way if a units of measure. If I just look here at the product itself, the Beat the Blues, as to what I've just ordered, of course, you see that we have variants and sizes, 60 sizes, 60 mil in different cases as well. If I go into the variants, you'll see all the different variants sizes, so 6 and throw into mills, I'll have different quantities on hand based on these variants. So I'll have so much of those created or in stock. You can see I have none in the 60 mil cases.
Okay, so you can create combinations based on the variants. Yeah.
And that's it. And then you have the bills of material. That's like you saw on the presentation. You've got a bill of material, which is the bottle. You could say the finished bottle products, the cap, the labels, etc. But down here, the juice, the Beat the Blues juice, and for the quantities, the 750 quantities, I need 4.95 liters of the juice. So it's a calculation of how many units do I need of a particular component to make up the finished product. That's our bill
Yeah.
of material.
If we take just a step back, this kind of screen show you that it's important to have the right partner to fill them, because it comes as an empty box by default. So if you have in your mind this idea of the juice and with the 5-10 ingredients and different sizes and different forms of conditioning, yes, you have to know how to put that stuff into the system. So that's where you come also into play, I would say.
That's exactly it. You know, it's you either a business or a client will know their business and their products really well, and you need to, as a partner, be able to translate it into Odoo. You need to be able to show how I would set it up in Odoo. I've seen many in implementation that we've recovered from badly implemented approaches, just that consideration not being understood, of just not understanding how it should be configured in Odoo. There's different ways to do it. It doesn't mean that the way that somebody's approaching it is the right way.
Yeah, because here, for instance, I mean, you could have made the mistake of being less flexible and having products, hard coding in the product, not through the variants, but hard coding the size and the packaging, which would be less flexible than if you want to use them in another context. So, yeah.
That's exactly it. And it's just knowing the operation, because again, when you look at the manufacturing of the end product is the bottle of juice, and if you think, okay, we're just manufacturing bottles of juice here, you need to kind of reverse engineer it all the way back of you've got Beat the Blues base as the base liquid, and that has the bill of materials within that of all of the ingredients as well. So it kind of it kind of works that you need that kind of knowledge and experience to be able to understand how you're going to configure it, because yes, once you understand it, and it's an operational sense, and you've been shown how to configure, let's say, Purple Juice wants to create a new recipe, a new juice. Well, you don't necessarily need the partner to come in and help you build everything again. You just need to understand how to build it, how to configure it, how to administrate it, because again, you might change an ingredient of an existing product. You might just need a little bit of advice of how best to go about doing it.
Okay.
So that's a lot of the kind of production planning. What another hat that we put on then is cherry. You can see there's a theme here with all names and fruits. Cherry is our purchasing manager, and Cherry's job will be to manage any of those orders that we have to make with our suppliers. So production demand by Pippa has said, I need to manufacture more juice, therefore I need more apples, or I need more bananas, etc. Cherry's job is to then go and manage purchasing of that. Now for that, I'm going to just force it to purchase some apples, I think. It's done there. So you can do replenishment requests in various different ways that can be automated. So, quantities in hand. I can see here, I've got 8,777 kilograms of apples. I would have plenty of apples to manufacture right now, but I'm just going to replenish. So I'll manually replenish, and that I'll say that I need 6,000 kilograms from my supplier. They're going to my warehouse. So I'm just going to confirm that. Okay. And then I've kicked off a purchase order, which now I'm wearing my my cherry hat. So my purchase order has been created. This is it brought me straight into it, but if I go back to the home screen, I can just go into purchase, and Cherry might be working through this list every day, and she will see that there's a new one here for an RFQ. And if she goes into that, she can see that there's 6,000 apples to order from their supplier, Worldwide Fruit Limited. So typically she'll email them, negotiate the price, make sure that they're getting the best price, confirming when they can deliver it, if they can deliver it as well. And once they have an agreement, they can confirm it as an order. Okay, and they can give the supplier the purchase order, so the supplier can then send us their bill with our purchase order. And when we receive the bill, then we can create the bill. And again, that's all of our accounting piece tying up. So we've got three-way matching of the invoice, the bill, the order. So typically, again, she'd go through and order as much product she has. I can see here this order, we've got one in receipt. That means we're expecting something to come in. We're expecting this delivery of apples to come in sometime. So it's in receipt. We're going to receive it. So if I go forward to Juniper, so another hat coming on. Juniper's role, he's our receiving manager. He's working in the warehouse. He's taking in the deliveries of the goods that come from our suppliers. Now, he could be using a barcode device for this, or he could be using Odoo desktop as well. So I'll just show you barcode. So here, if I had a barcode application or device, Odoo is fully mobile optimized, so it will run on an iOS and an Android device. I can use the camera as well on that as the barcode scanner. I could also use RFIDs. It's got a whole host of being able to read. I'm obviously not on a barcode device, so my screen is a little bit bigger, but it's effectively the same operation. He would come in and he would see, these are all of my kind of operation routes that I need to do. I have one in receipt or two in receipt here. And if I go into those, I see that there are two deliveries that I'm waiting to receive. One of them here, Worldwide Fruits. It's not due in until next week, but let's pretend that they arrived. I could go in and I can inspect my delivery. I've taken it off the truck. I've checked for damage. I've checked the quantities, whatever I need to do, and I can validate that I've received. So that could be a scan blip. It could be an RFID, whatever, RFID. And if I go quality checks, we can apply quality checks along our process. So here might be checking, maybe some notes. Might need to check some measurements. Might need to take pictures, whatever. Is the packaging in good? Yes, the packaging is good. Are they dry? Are they sealed? Are they damaged? Is there rot? Is there mold? Visual inspection, pass.
So you can configure all of those questions inside the app.
Fully configurable inside the app. That's not even customization. That's kind of configuring. And again, that's working with a partner who kind of comes in and helps you try to understand and define what it is you need to do at the different stages of the process. So you could go, you need a QC step here in the receive, what are the questions, and just configure out the system. So I'll just validate that. It's now validated. We can do different things here. We could move that directly into stock, or we could bring it through, let's say, a quarantine process before it goes into stock. We can just move it into different locations or areas. If it was in quarantine, for example, in my stock inventory, I would see that I have the stock, but I couldn't pull from the stock. The stock is in quarantine, so until it comes out of quarantine, can I then pull from that stock? So full
So,
control.
provided that you know how to configure what we've seen, everything that we've seen so far is native.
Yes, everything so far is natively configured for purple juice. Now we'll skip forward a little bit again, and this time we'll go back to Pippa. Pippa is the name of my dog as well, so she gets called out a few times in here. So before we were just looking at Pippa in production planning. She was only planning, what she needed to manufacturing. Pippa, that wouldn't be the full-time day of Pippa to be just doing planning. She might actually be doing production as well. So she needs to now start kicking off the manufacturing operation, for the finished product. Now, she, again, could be doing this in a two-stage process where she might need to manufacture the base liquid first. And then once she's got the base liquid, then she might manufacture the end goods, the finished bottle. I'm just gonna see here. Can we do an in bottle? I might have a sufficient stock of everything. Blues. If I go into a variant here, 300 mil. Okay, I'm just going to replenish these, and I'm going to replenish 4,000 bottles of these. And you can see my preferred route is manufacture. I could have a preferred route of buy route. It could be drop ship. It could be, how do I get it in? I'm just going to confirm that as a manufacturing route. Okay. That will now kick off basically the request that we need to manufacture. And again, she would go about her day, but effectively what we need to do is go back now and pick the raw material to manufacture. So she's just said, I'm making 4,000 bottles of juice. I need raw ingredients. I need them picked from the store, from the stock, and I need them brought over to the production line. So for that, Brian is our material picker. His job is to go and pick the components from the store. And for that, he might be again working on barcode application. So he will have pick components down here. Okay, and he's got different operations of what he needs to do. I need to pick caps. I need to pick this. I need to pick that, etc. And these again can be controlled into lot numbers, so that if he's only to pick a certain barcode quantity, he can only scan that element. You can control it so that he can pick anything and replace components if he needed to. I'm just going to do a few others here just so that we can maybe trigger off a few other things. Serial numbers allotted. I'll ignore that. Okay. So he would pick them, and then his job really is to move them two production lines. So the production line, if we're doing a two-stage process, just in catches of time, so I'm trying to skip maybe the juicing process. The juicing process would be I squeeze them, um, make juice, I put it in a barrel, I put that barrel back into stock. So we would have juice. We can track everything from the ingredients that are in the barrel, when the barrel was manufactured, all of that. I'd have to move it back into stock with bran. Uh, it might go through a few other steps and processes, but eventually it'll come to bottling, labeling, capping, filling, basically.
Is there a way, or some place in the app where you can see the journey of uh, of a product? So from, let's say, the raw juice to the packs, or do you have to know that and to know the journey yourself?
You can break it down in traceabilities, so I can see the traceability of what I manufacture. Um, I know that it was in Odoo, I think it was 10 or 11, but then it was taken out. There was what do they call it, like a BPM kind of flow, a workflow. Love for that to be back in Odoo, because then you could visualize where you are in the flow. But yeah,
And maybe jump straight from a part of the flow back to the
back to
application
the
where
application.
you need to
Yeah,
take action. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a
That would be good. Yeah.
it would be, if Fabian is listening, he would love to have it back in. I think it would be a great addition, just to be able to visualize where these things interconnect, because Odoo is again fully integrated between each different application. So you kind of have to go through each part of the process to ensure that the outcome is being delivered and fulfilled,
And in the right order,
and the right
preferably.
order.
Yes,
Exactly, exactly.
preferably.
So exactly, like again, just skipping through a number of our stages and processes, um, whereby those stages and processes would have been like that: the manufacturing of the juice, the manufacturing of the bottle, and fulfilling. Um, because I've probably skipped over a few steps, I don't have to manufacture the bottle right now, but I'm showing here, this is called the shop floor application. This is, I think, released in 17, I think it was. A great addition. I think it's really useful, because you could put the shop floor out on a screen on your production line. I describe this as like the McDonald's kitchen, where these are the orders. Manufacture this, do this. These are my work orders that come in. And if this was like that, manufacturing the liquid, I would be able to see the ingredients. I'd be able to tick off what I've done, registering the product. I'll just close that production, because maybe I've finished that one. Here I've got a shrink wrap, and again I'd have to be going through, let's say, the bottling operation, high pressure processing, packaging, shrink wrap, and again I can close the operation. Now again,
Yeah, the good thing is that you can narrow down the operations for the end user, so that they are not overwhelmed by the whole application. They can focus on what they have to do on their production line. Yes.
you can, these are kind of clear instructions that people can follow. Now, what we find is, again, if somebody's been doing the same job for 20 years, you don't necessarily want them to kind of keep going through, did I start the shrink wrap machine? Okay, so you can bypass or let them, control what they need to do as well. Here I've got printers where I can maybe print off labels. That's not connected to mine, but I can just instruct them what it is I want you to do. And when I go through that manufacturing operation and I've manufactured cases of juice, those cases of juice are put back into my inventory stock items. So now I can, that order that we did for Waitrose at the very beginning, if I now have enough stock, Then my inventory movements, I'll have my pick, pack, deliver process. So here I have a pick operation to do. Again, this could have been done with the barcode application. So, as a picker, I would get an alert on my barcode device to say, go pick me something from PJCF stock. So these could be all different location identifiers in my warehouse. I can go and with my barcode, scan it, pick it, do it. I can see here this is the 14th of April. I'm a bit behind on my old picking on this order, but you can control then like that everything that am I picking the right product? Am I packaging the right product? I'll just validate that. Here, maybe I haven't picked the right amount, so do I want to create a back order to when the other stock comes into play? So I'll say no, I'm just going to pick and send what I have. There's the traceability, by the way. So I can bring traceability all the way down to the product, the components of which I've picked, so I'm sending it to the client. I can get it all the way back to the raw ingredient of what
it's
I've.
kind of a full log of the process.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah.
You simply basically you go pick, pack, deliver. Could be one process. Here I've split it into kind of three, but same thing. Let's create a back order on that. And likewise, you can have delivery slips, packing slips that print out based on your actions. You can have QC, quality control steps that, again, before I deliver it, I might need to, in our case, validate that the temperature on the delivery truck is of a certain temperature. You can manage end to end each piece, and maybe have the collection driver sign that they have come and collected it.
And do you have out of the box reporting dashboards about everything that's going on in the application?
Oh, everything is there. This is the beauty of it, is if it's all configured correctly and working, then like that in dashboards, I can go into my sales. I can look at my sales here across 90 days. I can look at my top sales orders. If I go down here to my warehouse, my logistics and manufacturing, I can look at my manufacturing production. These reports are all out of box native. However, you can tailor them, customize them. You can build your own reports. They're all live data as well. So in real production, these numbers could be changing every hour, every minute based on what's going through the system.
And you can also use, but we won't show that, but the embedded sheet application so that you can build your own calculations and import them into the dashboard.
Exactly that.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's a very, very powerful system, all integrated. There was considerable effort building what is the Purple Juice Co. operation. It's not that I took Odoo out of box and it works. I had to go through like that, design our operation. I had to configure our products, configure our raw materials, our workflows. All of that has to be configured and tested, etc. So it does take that experience and knowledge.
Yeah, that's quite involved. So you need someone. That might be a good segue now that we have seen a quick overview of what the app can do, to talk about what you expect in the future, what you would dream of in the future. Maybe with the advent of AI agents, maybe there will be an AI agent where you will just explain your workflow to the agent, and they will guide you step by step to explain how to do it in Odoo. That would be nice.
I think like I've been playing with 18.3 now, ahead of the 19 release, and the AI stuff in there, you could say, is the foundation of what more is to come. I would definitely see, you could say, AI agent automated workflows. So being able to prompt to your AI of what conditions you want to happen when a stage is met or when a condition occurs within Odoo, then Odoo itself will take care of maybe more of the next stages and processes. So it's definitely the future. I see things like well, Odoo has IoT devices, Internet of Things, so I can connect Odoo in my manufacturing production lines. I can connect it to my equipment, my juicing machine, for example, if it's internet smart, and I can read information from that and I can push information to it with IoT. And if I combine that then with AI, then we've got really smart, intelligent logic, because then if I'm reading everything like temperatures, if a temperature drops to a certain element, I want you to adjust maybe the heating, I want you to send an alert, you would be able to control a lot more on that workflow. But being able to visualize it in a workflow diagram, would certainly be. I'm a very visual kind of learning guy, so I like to see it, see it mapped out.
I think something that could also help both the end users and the partners would be a tool using AI to map the expectations, the workflow that is discussed in the discovery phase when you're chatting or looking over the shoulder of your client, just transforming all those discussions into something that would prepare the work for the actual implementation.
Mm-hmm.
That would be also a good use case, for AI, I think.
Yeah, you've got definitely like on the discovery side. We see it time and time is, when you go in and do a discovery with the client and understand what it is they do, they manufacture or whatever, they'll probably explain to you, this is what we do now, or this is how the old system does it. And sometimes you have to kind of retrain their thinking of, that's great how the old system does it, but that's not how the new system should do it or will do it. So it's trying to decipher down, again, the operations and the processes of, certainly understand what they're doing, but also be, I suppose, more AI than intelligent, to identify where you could actually make those improvements. Where are the inefficiencies of the process? What could I simply implement in Odoo that could sort and take care of hours of your week just
Yeah.
by a standard native application.
That would be cool if the AI had a very practical understanding of how Odoo can be leveraged to map and yes, incarnate a workflow. So if the AI could understand, okay, this is Odoo, this is not only the source code, but this is what you can do with it, and you're just explaining me this thing. This is the way Odoo would approach it.
Yeah,
That would be.
We might be out of a job then.
Yeah, we might be able to scale it faster.
We
We have to
might,
see. Yeah, we have to see it from a good perspective, in a positive way, because we know that at the moment it's not that easy for a partner to scale, because it's a lot of work, and that's also something that people have to understand if they approach an ERP project, is that it's not the licenses, it's all the work that's required to make it happen by people like you. So
You're paying for I come across it all the time of the licenses are really cost effective, which is great, and I think the long let it continue because it's giving into businesses affordable technology that is really really good, powerful technology. But the skill, whether I'm implementing a Salesforce or whether I'm implementing an Odoo, it's the skill, the experience, the knowledge, the failures that we've gone through to understand. That's what you're paying for. You can try to go at it and do it yourself, but it will take you much longer. You will experience much more pain. You'll probably fail on the project, and then you'll blame the software. Investing into the services is crucially important because we're the expertise, the experts in it. We know how to configure it correctly. We can show you how to use it. And if it's done correctly from the beginning, then you've got, you'll get your return of investment back quicker. You will have better user adoption on the application, more people advocating the application, and then the next department in your business will want to be part of that. So you kind of start with good use cases, build that advocation of that people are kind of championing how good Odoo is, and then the rest matures out.
So if people were seduced by what you've shown of Odoo and of your expertise in Odoo, where can they find you besides on LinkedIn?
If you haven't found me on LinkedIn, then I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, definitely look me up on William McMahon on LinkedIn, or Drinking the Purple Juice newsletter. And likewise, Gravitai.com. Do reach out if you want a more tailored demonstration to your business. Happy to do so.
Thank you so much, William, for the demo. I see you soon, probably in Odoo event somewhere in London. And so I invite everyone to visit gravitai.com for more information about your work. Thank you so much, William.
Cheers, Freddie. Talk to you soon, mate.